Hello, welcome to my video on Decentralized Finance, Introduction to DeFi. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, click the subscribe button and subscribe to this video. You can as well leave your comments in the comment section below after watching this video. So what is decentralized finance? Decentralized finance is a financial ecosystem that consists of financial applications that are built on top of the blockchain. Now, these applications are open source, borderless, permissionless, transparent, decentralized, peer-to-peer, and very interoperable. This financial system, or DeFi, aims to create a financial system that can give access to people who have limitations or who can't access financial services. This set of people are isolated from the current traditional financial system. Now, another potential advantage of DeFi is the fact that it is built on interoperable DeFi applications on public blockchains, which gives grounds and opportunities to create new financial markets, products, and services, making funds available to everyone in every part of the world. Traditional finance relies on institutions like banks to act as a third party, to act as an intermediary, to authorize every transaction. But DeFi applications do not need these intermediaries or arbitrators from the courts. The codes on the blockchain resolves every conflict and every dispute, and the users maintain control over their funds at all times. This reduces the costs associated with providing and using this product and allows for very frictionless financial system. Of course, these DeFi applications are deployed on the blockchain. There is no single point of failure because this is very decentralized, so you can't say you're going to a particular point to disable it. The data is recorded on the blockchain and spread across nodes, making censorship or potential shutdown of service completely impossible. Now, for you to have a complete control of this of DeFi financial system, you have to take over more than 51% control with extra computational power, which is almost impossible. So there is no single point of failure. Now, the frameworks for DeFi applications are built in advance. Deploying one becomes very less complicated and even more secure. Now, like I said earlier, one of the major advantages of DeFi is the fact that financial services are made accessible to individuals who have no access to financial services due to location or due to some kind of regulations that occur where they are living. So, what are the potential use cases of DeFi? We have borrowing and lending, we have money and banking services, and we have decentralized marketplaces. In borrowing and lending, open lending protocols are one of the most popular types of applications from the DeFi ecosystem. Now, there are many advantages that DeFi has over traditional credit system. The ability to collateralize digital assets. Like in a traditional system, you have to have they will require a lot of things for you to be able to borrow from the traditional market, traditional financial system. Most times, you might not have the collateral to be able to borrow or to be able to achieve the borrowing and lending services. But with DeFi, you can collateralize your digital assets. No credit checks and potential standardization in the future. Now, this lending services are built on public blockchain, so they minimize the amount of trust required to have the assurance of verification methods. The lending marketplaces reduce counterparty risk and make borrowing and lending cheaper, faster, and available to even more people, especially those that don't have access to financial services. So we have money and banking services. As DeFi applications are, monetary banking services are an obvious use case for them. And this includes the use of stablecoins, mortgages, and insurance. So the blockchain industry is still a genesis technology. It is still maturing. And then this means that there's an increased focus in the creation of stable coins. Remember, stable coins are not affected by the fluctuations or the volatility of the market. They maintain their valuation to the fiat. So they are a type of crypto asset that's usually pegged to a real world asset, but can be transferred digitally. Relative ease. As cryptocurrency prices fluctuate rapidly, of course, these digital assets are not affected. Now, because of the number of intermediaries needed to be involved, the process of getting a mortgage is very expensive and time consuming. But with the use of smart contracts, all these things are reduced. Legal fees are reduced, if not removed completely. Now we have decentralized markets. This is one of the most crucial and the most important part of decentralized finance. These marketplaces are called decentralized exchanges, the DEXs. This platform allows users to trade digital assets without the need for a trusted intermediary like the exchange. On centralized exchange, your funds are you're at risk of losing your funds on centralized exchange. But with decentralized exchange, you are completely in charge of your funds. The trades are made directly between the user's wallet and the help of smart contracts. There is no intermediary, there is no third party. And you are in charge of your private keys. And this requires less maintenance work and low trading fees. One of the things you check when you're trying to use centralized exchanges is the trading fees and the cost of moving your assets from one centralized exchange to the other. But with decentralized marketplaces, these fees are reduced. Now, other projects may allow the creation of derivatives, synthetic assets, and then decentralized prediction markets, and so on and so forth. So what role does smart contract play in decentralized finance? Remember, in the real world case scenario, there's a normal kind of contract whereby you have to use legal terms, you have to go through lawyers and all that to authorize or to censor an agreement. But with the smart contract, you use computer code. You don't need an intermediary. You don't need a third party. You don't need a legal body. This code serves as a censorship over the agreement. Now, since these terms are written in computer code, smart contracts have the ability to also enforce these terms through computer code. They enable reliable execution and automation of large number of business processes that currently require manual supervision. Remember, if you're going to go through a legal body to execute a contract, you have to require manual supervision. But with DeFi and smart contracts, you don't have to. The computer code serves as the censorship during the contract or for the agreement. So what challenges does DeFi face? Of course, there are challenges. We have the slow processing time, the high risk of user error, and the cluttered ecosystem. Slow processing time. Blockchain is still a genesis technology, and it still requires a lot of time for it to process transactions. It is still slower than its mainstream centralized counterparts, and creating applications on them on the blockchain even makes it even slower. Now, this limitation is one of the things that the app developers are putting into consideration why they make the blockchain even better. Another one is there's a high risk of user error. Remember, with a centralized exchange or centralized platforms, you don't need to bother about keeping your private keys safe. Even if you lose access to your funds, all you have to do is to contact support and they will help you access it. But there's a high risk of user error in the sense that the DeFi applications transfer the responsibility of protecting the things as important as the private key to the user instead of intermediaries like in the centralized system. Now, this can have a negative implication, as the DeFi system might pose difficult for an average person to understand. So, in order to solve this, simpler DeFi systems need to be created so that it doesn't require a lot of understanding or a lot of concentration to access, so it can reduce the user error. Now, we also have the cluttered system. Now, it can be very, very, very hard to find an application that will serve your purpose. You're trying to go through every single application that will suit what you're looking for or that will serve a specific use case. So it might be very hard for an individual to find their best choices. So this challenge is a little bit limiting. And as time goes on and DeFi improves, this clutter system will be taken away and everyone will have easy access finding the specific application that will suit the specific use case they are looking for. So the traditional banking system and DeFi, it's very simple. Like I said earlier, traditional system requires third-party authorization. DeFi is simply open source. Now, the normal traditional banking system require a third-party financial service providers in order to secure their data and all that, and you even need API keys. But with DeFi, this financial system is independent of the current infrastructure. So DeFi is simply open source and very, very decentralized. Decentralized finance allows the management of entirely new financial instruments and entirely new ways of interacting with finances. So these are top DeFi cryptocurrencies. There are about 16 of them here, but there are over 100 of them in the market. Currently, the cryptocurrencies that are in the category of decentralized finance, we have the Compound, we have Compound DAI, we have Synthetics Network Token, we have Maker, we have Ox, we have Amplifort, we have Kyber Network Crystal, we have Compound USD Coin, we have Earthlen Token, we have BXZX Protocol Token, we have DMM Governance, we have Balancer, we have Gnosis Token, we have Compound Ether, we have Loopring V2, we have UMA Voting Token V1, and over 100 of DeFi cryptocurrencies. This is according to DeFi market cap. So this technology, the blockchain, is still at its genesis age. And just like every technology that comes out, a lot of things still need to be improved. But there is hope for those who can access financial services through DeFi. And gradually, DeFi is making headway and is focused on building financial services separate from the traditional financial system and political system, making financial services peer-to-peer, borderless, permissionless, decentralized, and very interoperable. And this will reduce the level of censorship and discrimination that is working across the world or across the globe and across countries. Everyone can have equal chances of accessing financial services. Thank you, and make sure you leave a comment. What do you think about this video? I hope you got one or two things about decentralized finance, and don't forget to subscribe and click the like button. Thank you.